Some people are like, well, it was just the disciples who saw the resurrected body. Of course, they all had this hoax. They all colluded to make this lie happen. No, the Bible says, I think it's in 1 Corinthians 15 too, that it says that Jesus showed up to 500 people at the same time. That was not a hallucination.
Are we all here? I need 100% participation for this to work.
Yeah, everyone's here. All 12, 11.
Rip Judas.
11 of us. Well, what's the plan?
Well, as you know, Jesus is dead. But stick with me, okay? Stick with me. I have a plan. We are going to steal his body.
Okay, I'm tracking with you. What's next?
And then we're going to tell the whole world that he rose from the dead.
Oh, you know I'm in.
I love it already.
All right, classic. Then what?
And then we're all going to get brutally murdered.
Wait. Come again. Could you go over that last part real quick?
Oh, what? We get murdered. What's the problem?
I like it. I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pete. I love me a good hoax as much as the next guy, right? What's in it for us? Do we all get riches, fame, and fortune first, right?
No, get this. You're going to be hated, persecuted, and reviled for the rest of your life.
So that's essentially the clip, right? And the question is, could this have actually been a hoax? Right? Like, what was the motive that the disciples had for this to be a hoax? There was nothing they were going to get out. They were not going to get any women, no riches, nor fame, no glory. They were literally going to die gruesome and horrible deaths as a result of their belief in Jesus Christ. So you tell me, could this have been a hoax? I don't know. What do you think?
No, this could not be a hoax, because I would never in my life would I sign up to be brutally murdered willingly, knowing that I'm lying.
Exactly, like willingly knowing this is a lie.
Correct.
Let me go ahead and get brutally murdered.
Exactly. And there's I was looking up like some common like other atheist arguments for the regarding the resurrection. And one of the thing that it says here is the hallucination theory. So
that's another one.
So some people, some historians, whatever, they believe that the disciples were so grief-induced, were so sad, were so upset that they started hallucinating, Jesus's manifested body, once again. And listen, dude, I have been through some tough stuff. I lost a dad when I was very young. I've never hallucinated him out of, grief. You get me?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that would work. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist.
Well, I'll tell you this much because funny that you bring that up. Lee Strobel actually brings that up in his book, The Case for Christ, because he says that was one of his, when he was an atheist, that was one of his counter arguments. And so he went to a psychologist, and what the psychologist said is that hallucination does not happen at a collective level. Hallucinations happen individually. Right. So let's say you take
for a bunch of people to hallucinate the same
at the same thing. And not only the disciples, because maybe some people are like, well, it was just the disciples who saw the resurrected body. Of course, they all had this hoax. They all colluded to make this lie happen. No, the Bible says, I think it's in 1 Corinthians 15 too, that it says that 500 people, that Jesus showed up to 500 people at the same time. That was not a hallucination. Like if you take, in a hypothetical alternative universe, Rene and I take some mushrooms and we start hallucinating, our hallucinations would be individual. We can't hallucinate the same thing. We have two different brains. Correct. So hallucinations don't even happen at a mass, communal, collective level. They happen at the individual level. So you're telling me that 500 people had the same exact hallucination? According to psychology, that is impossible. So no, it wasn't a hallucination. I've also heard that theory that maybe what they saw was a ghost. That's an interesting theory, but we know that's not true either, because we know that Thomas actually touched his body. Jesus says, hey, look at my wounds, right? Touch me, feel me. So we know that Thomas felt Jesus' body, physical body. And we also know that Jesus ate with the disciples after he came back.
Correct.
So that's how we know it wasn't a ghost. They saw the literal, physical, glorified, resurrected body of Jesus. Right. And so the other One is, maybe the disciples stole the body. We know from history as well we know from the Gospels that there was a guard in front of the tomb. They put a Roman seal on the tomb, and those tombstones were the stone, right, that they would put in front of a tomb was incredibly heavy, right? So for a Roman guard to be sold or be convinced that, like, hey, can we take this body? That Roman soldier would have had to pay for that betrayal with his life. His family could have been at risk. Right. So clearly, I don't think the disciples were able to buy off the Roman soldiers, right? Correct. Either the Romans would have killed the disciples, or the Roman soldier who betrayed the empire would have gotten killed and his family killed, right? Like there was literally an order by Pontius Pilate to put a Roman guard there and put a seal on it so that disciples cannot steal the body. That's what the Jews said. Hey, they might try to steal the body in 3 days. So let's make sure we put a Roman guard there.
Right, that was the narrative that was going around in those times.
Yeah, let's make sure we stop this prophecy from happening. So make sure you put a Roman guard. Right, there was a Roman guard, and still, on the 3rd day, that body was gone.